So, last time we all gathered together, you all engaged with what you later found to be a very large group of Cult of the Dragon forces who were engaging in Daggerford. It seems that you all were dealing with a smaller group of these individuals, including a number of very powerful waves of half-dragons as well as other seemingly modified cultists. You all noticed in this point it was a more heavily concentrated collection of individuals who seemed to be devoted to the blue sect of the Cult of the Dragon. All the while, a red dragon harried and assaulted the town. The battle raged for some time, with numerous ebbs and flows on both sides, before finally the red dragon, seeing the battlefield turn against their favor, began to dash and run away, barely making it out of the town, along with one of the remaining cultists that was able to, as you all saw, sprout some ethereal wings and begin leaping and flying over, moving at great distances, although only for short bursts. So, you all, after engaging for some time, feeling weary, some of you because of taking a potion of speed and feeling the effects of the haste spell end. Others of you having fallen from 500 feet up in the air only to cast Featherfall at the last moment, are now gathered just behind the gatehouse of the city of Daggerford. As you turn and look around you, you see that the town, mostly really a small city at this point, engulfed in flame and smoke. The scent of burning wood, fabric, cloth, hay, all assaulting your senses as the heavy smoke, both black and white, just for the variety of the different materials that are burning in your vicinity, filling your nostrils and eyes, clouding your vision somewhat. In the distance, you're able to make out the screams of the dying and the moans of those who are injured, both muffled and quite loud to your ears. Surrounding you on the gravel and stone pathways of the town, you see the corpses of those cultists that you had felled, along with the numerous villagers that they took out as collateral damage. It's at this point, looking around, you notice that this was not a localized assault. Just simply due to the scale of what you're witnessing and the size of the town that you know, it was you all would know that this is a fairly large force that is taken out in an attempt to wipe this particular city off the map. And seemingly fairly successful in doing so, as the majority of the buildings now are in ruins or in flames. So, as you look around, dusting the smoke and debris off of your armored bodies with the patches kind of being singed due to the red dragon's flames, gathering your wits about you in this chaos, what would you all like to do?
I'm pretty hurt.
What y'all do?
We lost.
We lost the red dragon.
I know where he's at.
You want to go chase him?
Can we get there in time?
I don't know. Depends on how fast he's flying.
Make a nature check.
Dragons still are...
Dragon, so that is a favorite enemy, so that'd be a nature check with advantage.
Let me just make sure.
Is he hexed?
Pretty sure you did cast Hex, actually.
I try to remember if I moved Hex onto.
What does that say? 17?
Yep.
22.
22? He is still hexed, Leaf. I'm looking at my notes. He is still hexed.
How long ago was the battle? Sorry, I was...
So the battle would have ended about 35 to 40 seconds ago.
Okay, so I still know where he is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
I do too.
yeah, between both of you, you would feel with your nature roll, you would know that a dragon that is retreating in that way is moving at a very rapid pace and quickly leaving the vicinity, and you'd lose sight of them rather rapidly. Leaf, at this point, you would know just through the location of the hex spell. What is the distance on the hex spell?
And I only got him for an hour.
Hold on.
I mean, I can move
Where's the
120
spell
feet
ends you deal with it?
around for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's how long we have to catch up, really.
Yeah. But he's
And
moving
that's-
at...
It's concentration up to an hour. It's got
No distance limitations?
It's got a range to cast it, but no distance after that. It just remains hexed.
So I would say that with that in mind, you would...
If it's a 3rd or 4th level spell, it'll last for 8 hours. 5th or higher, up to 24 hours.
Second one. So we'll cast it the second.
Okay.
So it is, you would know that the dragon is at this point about 2,000 feet away and moving quickly further and further away to the northeast.
He's going that way really fast.
Yeah. I don't have a means to catch up to him that fast. Balasar, he's moving twice as fast as you.
I don't know how fast Fleet's carpet moves, but
Not that fast.
well then, he's gone.
I would say of the 4 of you, by the way, we're a player down tonight, so I will not be doing anything other than if it comes to combat, I'll pilot, but that's why Fleetfoot's going to be quiet tonight. So I'd say, just given your backgrounds, Leaf and Tiberon, just give me a general perception check. Tiberon would be a perception check with advantage.
17.
17, thank you.
25.
Okay, both of you looking around. Leaf, I'd say looking throughout the town, you'd know that the red dragon and the flames that it did exude, you see that a massive swath of the vicinity that you are in, within about 800 feet around you, well, no, it would be close to about 500 feet around you, are all engulfed in what could be charred red flames, similar in nature. However, at this juncture, you would also notice that it seems as if looking further into the city, small city, I hesitate to use that word, small city, you begin to see that there is damage of different varieties throughout. It's tough for you to make out exactly what it is, but you do get a distinct... Your knowledge of spells and how they affect the vicinity, you would know that fire didn't do all of this.
Okay.
Tiberon, looking about and your knowledge of dragons and dragonkin, you would recognize that destruction on this scale is possible for a dragon that is unharried, meaning one that is not engaged with any sort of force. You and Leaf kind of tracking your eye line throughout the ruined silhouettes of these buildings in the morning, or actually this would be the mid-afternoon light, would see structures less burned through the means of fire or localized flame, and scorch marks of a different kind, of energy that seems to have arced through the vicinity. And then scanning in the distance, you would also, just with that roll, be able to barely make out a silhouette of a form moving at a great speed at this point, high up in the sky, looking no more than what you'd see as a very large bird, the form of another winged entity.
I'm going to drop Primeval Awareness. I'm using a 2nd level spell slot because that's all I have left to sense dragons within 1 mile.
You got it.
Unless I'm in my favorite terrain, mountain grassland or Arctic, which I don't believe I am, so it's only 1 mile.
Yes, you'd be in forest at this point.
So...
Well, urban, the vicinity of forest.
To sense dragons within 1 mile of you.
Okay, so, as you all witness this, Tiberon, you take a moment and concentrate internally, focusing on the images and knowledge that you have of dragons. Pushing out your awareness in your vicinity,
Now you're caught.
you detect 3 large...
Leaf just caught Balasar up.
Oh.
Yeah, you detect 3 large pinpricks of draconic energy, but all at the very edge of even the mile away that you have at this point. And then as you're focusing for this period of time, you see them wink out simultaneously. They are moving in the following directions. You have one that is moving to the northeast, another that is moving pure eastward, and then another that is moving pure westward. All currently out of your range, but you were able to feel them wink out of existence almost simultaneously.
I'm pretty sure it was a dragon.
There was
I saw a
more.
dragon do it.
There was more than one.
There was what?
Oh,
more than
that would
one.
do it too. How many more?
I don't know because the thing doesn't give me numbers.
You felt
So it just-
3 massive. So I imagine primeval awareness, as you connect with the land, there are very small and dull glows.
Okay. I was just the feature says it doesn't give me location or numbers,
For
but
this, in terms of lore and
Okay.
your knowledge and
Okay.
interaction with them, I'm totally fine.
okay.
with
I just
that.
didn't want
It
to.
does now.
It does now.
Yeah, totally fine.
There's 3. One's moving northeast, one to the east, and one to the west.
In addition to the red?
The red one's moving to the northeast. The other 2, I don't know what color they are. By what I can tell from the other damage here,
You go ask
it's
the
one we
other
haven't seen
people
yet.
in the other town
Maybe
if they
blue,
were-
maybe black, maybe green.
Well, if he stops within the hour, I'll know where he stopped. That's
Oh,
it.
me too. At least the red one.
Yeah, because he's Hunter's Mark and Hexed, so both of you would
Mhm.
have a mental bead on his location.
We almost had him. At this point, I stand up and I'm gonna go walk over to the body of the dead blue half dragon.
Okay.
I want to see if he had
Oh,
any
yeah, we need to loot
any
everything.
notes. I know he had a dagger, right? A black dagger.
So
Is this the same blue half dragon that we keep killing?
I'd like to find that out too.
so I would say just
If I
for
can.
the sake of ease and how quickly you're able to search through this wreckage, all of you have fairly high investigation. Most of you. So I'd say everybody give me an investigation check. Just straight investigation roll.
Investigation is intelligence based. I'm still good at that.
Yeah.
Just 10.
Not this time, though.
10. What was it? I'm good, but not now.
But 11.
11, okay.
I got an 11 also.
Gentlemen,
I literally rolled an 11 though.
story-wise, this actually makes sense. Through the heat and haze and the smoke and the screams, it's very difficult for you to kind of tune a lot of it out. Even for those of you who are a little bit more easily disconnected from this, it is just mass hysteria. You see at this point, many individuals are beginning to exit their homes. In fact, the individuals who kind of hold up in the small cottages that survived the wreckage are now coming out, finding their loved ones and attempting to do whatever they can in order to save them. As you approach, all of you, I would imagine, are approaching this half-dragon form hulking. It is not the same individual that you have had the pleasure of slaying twice. You would remember at this point Langdid Rosa, Cyanrath. The last time you encountered him possessed a strangely non-draconic skull that seemed to be somewhat grafted to his torso after having been removed by Tiberon within the caves in Greenest. This individual is similarly sized, less brutish, a little bit less muscle, but what you notice on his lithe form, still some musculature, nothing massive. There is a distinct lack of armor or regalia like you are used to seeing on cult members. There is, however, a presence of the blue fabric swatches that you are used to seeing in order to identify where that individual stands in terms of their loyalty within the cult. On the bodies of the cultists, the armor is, on most of them outside of this half-dragon, ravaged due to the flames that are beginning to pick up whatever's closest to the burning structures. You're able to find, in total, so I don't know if you want to keep this down, in total, 182 gold pieces.
You still have that, right?
Yeah.
You got the party.
I know.
182 gold pieces. 37 silver pieces. And 4 copper pieces, just as in total. Most of their weaponry is crude, but seemed to have been prior to this encounter of fine make.
What about homie's dagger that he had?
His dagger is made of roughly cut obsidian with silver handle and pommel. Crude leather wraps the handle itself, and it is quite large. Retrofitted, it would seem, for his larger than normal grip.
Does anyone want this dagger?
Yeah, we'll take it. So when I pick it up, is it like short sword, long sword sized?
For you, it's still shorter than a short sword, so I'd
Okay.
still call it a dagger. The
Okay.
handle itself is just pretty massive.
Okay. And nothing seems different about it? Magical?
You can give me an Arcana check.
I'll certainly
What'd
try.
you say it looked like the handle was made of?
It was made of silver
I rolled a 19.
and wrapped in... You are able to come into touch with certain magics in your time as a ranger, typically dealing in the more nature magical realm. This doesn't give off any sort of that feeling.
Okay. We can sell it.
Okay.
Leaf, were you able to get Hilda out?
So you... that's actually an excellent question. So you were able to actually help evacuate folks to the lower portion of the inn. Just kind of at your call 2 sessions ago, when he said Hilda get down, you hung out just long enough to see them actually do that. Where it has happened since then, since you engaging in the fray, you don't know.
As far as I know, Balasar's girlfriend is safe.
Oh my gosh. To the inn!
Okay.
Which direction are we going next?
Northeast.
So
Redland would be easiest to kill.
I would say that you all originally came to Daggerford with the intent to go to the Misty Forest. There was the, which is to the west. The original request was from King Melindrak, who had his... to the east, you're correct. To the east, my apologies. At the request of King Melindrak, who... at this point, it's all just kind of coming back to you and your...
Oh, to go find his son, right?
His son, and there are reports of a draconic incursion within the Misty Forest as well.
Okay.
Of what variety, you're not sure.
The red one you said was going northeast,
Yes.
and then one straight east and one straight west.
Yep.
We did say we were going to help the owls. We have not said anything about helping this place or going after a red dragon.
Yeah.
Hey, we've fought them away. We should just continue with our mission, I think. As much as I want to go kill that red dragon,
We're gonna run into him again. I guess you're right. I don't know if we could do it right now.
I
We're pretty beat up.
would like to be long rest.
Well, I don't think we're gonna get a good rest in the town. It's burning.
Well, we could ditch this town and go sleep in the forest.
Let's go ditch this town, yes. Let's never come back here again.
So, you all would like to head towards... So, I would say because all of you were traveling on the caravan and did come through this location, you would have an idea, specifically you, Leaf, and Tybron, because you did spend the majority of your time actually scouting. You would remember, looking at base stats, okay, you would remember there is immediately outside the gates of Daggerford a river that runs through the vicinity, and it actually trails up towards Waterdeep. So it snakes down from north to south. To the east is a large forest. You all never really came close to it. It was visible in the distance. I remember distinctly when Leaf took some scouting time around Daggerford previously, there was a conversation and recollection of how the forest looked very similar to the Cloakwood. Outside of that, the only other known location is the tradeway that you use to travel northward to Waterdeep. That you
It
would
goes
know.
east,
Yeah.
at least for now.
Yeah, we can follow the
I'm
river.
fine dry camping, that's fine.
Maybe we can tell the survivors
But
to head
I'm
towards Waterdeep.
Not okay walking, we have a carpet.
Well, yeah, let's fly. Sorry, really tired. Man, that potion takes a lot out of you. I want more.
Yeah, that was a cool potion. I got one too. It was neat. I liked it.
Yeah. Thanks for your help, Leaf.
Don't even remember it.
Well,
Just
shall
like
we
it is
fly
like it's
along
another
the
life.
Absolutely no
riverbed east?
consequence, my friend. I don't even remember doing it.
That's 'cause he wasn't
Before we
here
go, I'm
outside
gonna
in.
go find Hilda.
Okay, so
Guys, get ready. I'll be right back.
so that would be another investigation check. As at your words, Fleetfoot, who has been kind of patting out his own cinches, kind of begrudgingly pulls out the carpet and just
8.
looks, we'll be waiting for you.
What does
Um,
he say?
He looks at Tyrone and says, "We'll be waiting for you," and then says, "Stew."
There
and
you go.
Raises with the we'll be, and he kind of looks at you and says, "We'll be outside the gates."
Yeah.
And so the three of you all make your way.
I just mean to be quick.
Okay, so looking around, you make your way back to the Riverside Inn,
I think he's gonna go hit on your girlfriend, dude.
and
It's okay. We're never coming back here.
you
I don't think she was a fan of the disco dick anyway.
you're able to make your way through the rubble. The inn itself had
Nobody
collapsed
was.
a pretty significant amount.
No one was.
Pushing your way through, you see that there is a very small avenue leading into a cellar that is that remains unobstructed
Mm-hmm.
because of the shift from wood to stone. Looking down and calling out, you hear a small voice just reply, "Hey, hello?
Hilda.
Safe to come out?
Yeah.
Oh, you stay here." And you hear kind of whisper to the other individuals. You can very distinctly hear a baby's cry from the basement area. And the harried, now soot-covered dwarven woman, hair disheveled, once auburn and very nicely maintained.
Has Tybran ever met Hilda? I don't think I have,
Tyrone
except
has not met
except for when we just got here, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Tyrone has never met Hilda before. She comes out and says, "I am. What happened?
It's not safe here anymore. You need to get out.
Okay,
You need to take as many people as you can north to Waterdeep.
right.
And be quick about you.
Yeah, okay. Is everybody gone?
For now. But you're gonna want to get out of town quick.
Thank you.
Take what you need. Take who you can, and get out. And don't look back.
Okay.
Don't look around. Just go.
Well, we'll get to it then. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I hand her 20 gold pieces.
She just kind of takes it ever so nods.
Stay safe.
Yeah. You as well. You and your group. It was good to see you back here for what it's worth. And then she makes her way back down the stairs into the cellar,
And then I go out of the gates.
pushing your way
Very
through-
slowly.
Got it.
Just walk looking around, kind of like Tyrion after he sees the destruction of King's Landing. Hashtag spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you didn't see it now, it's too late.
Yeah. but
Just
the group throws shade if you didn't see it now. So,
feeling utterly defeated and failure and
so I would say on your way out, it is a scene that it's a pretty apt description. The only difference being King's Landing is made primarily of stone, where Daggerford is not as lucky. The majority of its structures were very much wood. Making your way, pushing your way out of the gatehouse, just and the door itself kind of cracks off the hinges on your way out. You see the remaining three, Fleetfoot, Leaf, and Balasar, waiting on the carpet and climbing yourself up top.
As soon as I see him, I yell, "Hey, we're on a time crunch here. Let's go."
I hop up.
Okay, so where would you all like to go?
East.
Along the riverbed.
East along the riverbank? Okay,
I just kind of sit in the back of the carpet, almost meditating.
cool. Fleetfoot's going to sit towards the front and do a little bit
We're
of
just looking for a nice place to camp for the night, right? Not going that far. If I have to, because I need to sleep.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Why?
Well,
Leaf feels great.
I'm doing great.
I've used most of my toys, and I'm down to almost dead. And I've already
Balasar's
died at this long rest.
Balasar looks rough, by the way.
He
As-
normally looks
I'm
like
pretty
that.
harried too.
yeah, Tybron doesn't look great, and Fleetfoot also does not look great. Everybody looks pretty charred.
You guys do look like shit.
Actually, fun fact, because your armor is totally fine. However, you do see on some of the smaller rings and things that you're wearing that are magical, there is some slight char to them. Just as like out of game moment, Leaf did take a fire breath to the face, but the armor looks great.
Is he still tall? Is he still big?
No. So
Okay,
the
it was-
effects of the enlarged spell only lasted for a round.
Okay.
Or for a minute, rather. I'd have to look it up. But, so,
Alright, fine. If you guys are gonna bum around, I'm gonna talk to Sartha.
okay. So,
I mean, you
can
can still talk to me. I'm just kind of sitting there.
So,
No,
who's
Leaf
going
is
to...
having a one-sided conversation with somebody you can't hear, right?
I'd probably focus on where the red dragon went, and,
Okay.
and just when I cannot feel him.
So, for the hour,
Or
you
the
do
dir-
not feel any stopping in movement.
Okay.
Just continuing along the same trajectory, and then at the last moment, there's a very hard turn west. Okay.
And then-
Leaf, you would also feel that as well. Okay.
Right.
Who is looking for a place to rest? So then I'd roll that with advantage because I imagine you have Tybron and Fleetfoot helping you. It's a perception check. You're going to be talking with Sartha, yeah?
Yeah, but you can hold a conversation that you don't have to look at somebody. And
22.
No worries.
Oh, you said advantage.
Advantage. You have somebody helping you, yeah.
I'd probably
22.
talk to Fox as well.
Cool. After about an hour and a half, you've made some pretty good progress, but at this point, even the slight bumps and jostling in the wind is rough. The sun is beginning to set as you approach dusk, and you are able to find a small alcove as in a bend in the river as you're making your way. The forest at this point has come... You've made a pretty good distance, but it's at this point you all realize, well, the three of you do, and then Leaf, it's just a familiar sight, where the forest, the trees are huge, so it looks like it's a lot closer than it is. And then as you approach, you say, wow, this is a massive, thick, dense forest.
To the south?
Yes.
good. Should be able to sleep in the trees.
So you make your way. There's a bend in the river, and then there's another, what looks to be, based on the travel that you've made it thus far, another half day's travel will get you to the tree line.
Well, looks like we'll crash here on the bend and we'll make it there tomorrow.
But there look to be multiple
Maybe.
spots, but with that roll, I'd say the spot that you would see and looks the most comfortable, that can fit everybody,
Right
would
there
be
on the bend.
Would be in the bend.
This looks like a good spot here. I don't think we'll find a better one before it gets dark.
Okay. So you all, Fleetfoot hearing this, kind of guides the carpet down, sets into this small alcove where the land meets the river and it bends in such a way that's nice. There's the soft flowing sound of water surrounding you. The grass itself seems lush, fertile, untouched, unscathed by any sort of incursion. Based on where you've just left, this is a stark contrast even for the, I'd say, 5 to 7 hours of travel that you've had. Far enough removed from Daggerford to where you're away from the chaos, but even a glance over your shoulder will show you the massive plume of smoke extending from where you've just left. You all are able to get there, settle down, start a fire if you wish.
Make Fleetfoot do it. He's good at it now.
Fleetfoot will just look at you, nod, and firebolt.
I think his bonfire.
Oh yeah, his is bonfire. You're right. He can ritual cast
He
bonfire.
also has prestidigitation. He can start a campfire with that.
Yeah. But he wanted bonfire. He's able to cast bonfire and get a roaring fire going in the vicinity. It's significant. It's not significantly warmer than when you were in Waterdeep, but you can tell the difference in temperature as you've traveled south. Still fairly humid. Like Florida in February. Right. Not necessarily cold, but you can feel it because it's wet cold. You settle down. Settle in for a rest, if you'd like.
Yeah,
Anyone to take shifts and watch, or
I'll take
everybody
first
down
watch.
there? Okay.
I'll take whatever anybody doesn't want. Fine.
Fleetwood will just volunteer to be last
Mhm.
because he wants to get his catnap in. It's canon. So we'll say Leaf second, and then Balasar
Okay.
third.
Second.
All right, cool. First watch. Give me a perception check, Tybron.
13.
You nestle your back against a stone that seems to block that area fairly nicely. Looking around, paying particular attention to the massive, again, and growing plume of smoke, white and black, forming this gray as it meets up almost to merge with the clouds in the sky above. A clear and stark reminder of what was left. It was a tough day. It was a long day.
Yeah.
There is...
I'd probably talk to Fox again.
There's a distinct feeling of comfort in your conversation.
Does it ever get any easier?
You have a long pause and then... No. But... You learn from it.
What could we have done differently?
Nothing.
What can we do next time?
There's another pause, and then there's a mental sigh. By my approximation, you've did everything that you could have done. To survive now was to win. That is the best you can do.
I just kind of sigh and go back to
You got it.
just the feeling of gratitude.
Your watch continues without any event. Carrying on into the evening, you go and wake. Is Balasar for second watch? Got it. Continue waking Balasar for the second watch.
12.
12 on your perception check. You're able to find and kind of locate the same spot where Tybron fell, this time sitting at the top of the boulder just to get a pretty good idea of what's going on. You're now in the deepest part of night. Thankfully, with your mask, you are able to make out most of what's taking place around you. In the distance, just above the forest to the south, you're able to see a number of small specks begin to move their way out of the top of the canopy. Flying over for a moment as a flock of what you would recognize, I think at this point, as a flock of birds. And it back into the canopy. And you see it jump about 4 or 5 more times. The same flock. To me, it doesn't change in size. You...
Can I do a nature check?
Absolutely.
That's a nat 20.
Looking at it as they bound through the trees, you see it moving further away. But with that roll, I would also say it's strange for any flock of birds to move and behave in this erratic fashion. It almost looks as if they are fleeing or being pursued, and the number changes in size with each successive movement.
Like they're being attacked for each move.
And given the size change, they're moving quickly away towards the very end of the forest, which would be towards the coastline. It's at this point that you recognize fully there is this dense fog surrounding the forest. As the night fell, it was difficult to make it out through the haze. But as you've begun to rest and getting your wits more about you and focused in the moment, There is this persistent haze that seems to just permeate the forest itself.
Is our fire still going?
You have small embers at this point. It could be revived very quickly should you wish.
No, I want to put it out.
Okay, so you move forward, able to stamp it out fairly quickly.
And I want to take a better look around now that there's no light.
So you're going to go do a walk around?
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be an investigation check. What are you looking for specifically so I know?
Just changes, like, in what's going on around me. Like, if there's, like, any no sound compared to earlier, or...
Okay. Yeah,
It's like,
makes sense.
like stuff that's, like, off.
So general, got it.
And what kind? Investigation?
Investigation, yes.
22.
22. Okay, so you begin to take a long walkabout, moving about 150 feet away from the camp just to do a quick perimeter, knowing very well that your companions are tucked away within an alcove, hidden behind a fairly massive boulder. Looking around, listening to the surroundings. Sound of the stream maintains, and then as you turn your back to the forest, which you know is a significant distance away, you hear a very light, as if carried on the wind, sound of a hiss that echoes and seems to reverberate through the area. And it's just this hiss. Lasts for approximately 10 seconds, fades, and silence. The only sound you hear is the water rushing, at this point fairly far away. You notice at this point all sounds of nature that you had been hearing. Animals moving, small critters in the brush, especially this close to the tree line. Silent. You pause for a moment, waiting a minute, 2 minutes. After about 5 minutes, life begins to brim back up again, and the sounds of nature resume, although muted.
I'll slowly make my way back to the camp and just wait for my watch to end.
You got it?
Just kind of on edge.
There's a definite tension in the vicinity. It's at this point on your walk back that you remember what Tybron had mentioned about there being a bit of movement directly to the west of the town previously, and you can't help but think that perhaps there is another entity in these woods. Other than that, your watch, other than that fairly disturbing bit of, nice rolls by the way, other than that fairly disturbing bit of reconnaissance, your watch passes without much interruption, other than your own walking away. Moving back, the fire is out. A very small plume and trail of smoke exits from the embers, and you are able to awaken Leaf for his watch.
Well, Tibb saw some stuff on his watch, and I'm pretty sure there's something out there, so I'd stay guard. It wasn't fun.
You mean stuff is in the forest?
Yeah, but there was a bunch of flocks of birds, like, jumping around. Looks like they were being attacked, and then it was silent. There was nothing going on for a minute. It was scary.
You don't get out of the city much, do you?
No, not really.
Okay.
But I don't think that's what... That's not
Big
what,
cat could have caused that.
just be on guard.
Go to sleep, Allison.
All right, Leaf, you begin to take your watch. A perception check, please.
Is that a dragon here? Oh. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
that's good.
I thought
25.
you're just
Okay.
being very
You-
thematic.
Heating at least part way. Balasar's just, okay.
That's what I meant.
Looking
to say.
around, making sure to keep an eye on the
wing.
forest itself. Everything seems okay. Nothing out of the ordinary based on your knowledge of or time in the forest. Leaning back kind of up against the stone, looking at the perimeter. If you'd like to have your conversation with Sartha now. feel free.
It's just an ongoing conversation.
For sure. At which point Sarth would just kind of pop in and
So, what have you been up to?
Don't remember, honestly. Apparently we destroyed a town.
Oh, I see.
Or they destroyed a town. Or something.
Well,
They
if you-
thanked me, so maybe I helped. I don't remember.
well, if your goal was to destroy the town, then congratulations.
I think we were going there to light somebody's dick on fire.
That sounds incredibly painful.
He did it last time he was there.
Why would anyone do that?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him.
I don't want to. Well, okay.
Strange mating rituals, the Dragonborns.
He's Dragonborn. It might be a thing. I don't know.
I must tell you, I do not know much of their culture.
I don't either. I don't want to.
Well, okay. So, I, normally, at least with my last wearer, the conversations were far from pleasant, mostly relating to torture. This has, frankly, been quite enjoyable. So tell me, I've told you I am a wizard. What sort of, what do you set yourself up to? What sort of skills or job or occupation, or if you don't need to tell me, I just, been wondering.
I don't know. I just kind of blow stuff up.
Interesting. Well, then perhaps congratulations are in order. If you do blow things up, then the town's destruction was part of the plan?
Sure. I also grow and shrink, turn into a potted plant. Occasionally can't speak. Summon flumps.
I've read about that before. You say it's a wild magic, yeah?
Yeah, it's fun.
Interesting. Of the people that I've met, you're the most, okay with it.
What other choice do I have?
That is a fair statement to make. I studied them in Thay in the past.
I'm going to take the ring off.
And it just bloop.
Put it in my bag of holding.
continuing the observations. Nothing odd taking place.
Okay. And he can't talk to me when the ring is off. Awesome.
Nope.
That's so awesome. Okay.
Have to have contact with it. He's like, let's think about it. That man's been tortured. He's okay having somebody who's not torturing him.
Yep.
Um,
Just okay. Leave's done.
he's like, and we're done.
And the mute button.
Yeah, I mean, hey. Boop. Other than that, I would say with that role and your knowledge of nature, the vicinity surrounding the forest seems
Like a chair.
like a chair. I want to double check on something before I say it.
Is the chair a stump?
Yes.
Like a backrest?
Is he pulling out the
Moss
monster
on it?
manual?
What?
Is he pulling out the monster manual over there?
Just be quiet. Maybe he'll forget.
I thought for sure something was coming out of the forest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm asleep.
At 17 health points. I'm not up with this.
Yeah.
So I would say, just with that observation, this would pique your interest. So what you decide to do with this information is up to you. You would notice that surrounding the edge of the forest, peeking through the mist that seems to pervade the vicinity, there is an odd bit of plant life that does not seem to fit. Looking at it, you would see these choking bits of thickets and vines, thorns and thistles that seem to be in large clumps, weaving their way almost at random through these trees, through the haze.
Similar to the decay at the Cloakwood when there was dragon's influence, but with vines and stuff as opposed to decay.
For that, I just kind of say, give me a... Well, let's look. Yeah, give me a nature check really quickly. And I'd say with advantage, with that knowledge.
14.
14. It sure looks random and odd, and you can correlate that with the odd affliction in the vicinity surrounding the Cloakwood as well. Although it's certainly different from what you saw at the Cloakwood, but it is just as off-putting and not naturally located in this sort of biome.
No, but the black dragon did that to the Cloakwood. The white dragon caused frost around it, so...
You would assume that this is a regional effect of some sort.
Okay. I'm not going to do anything with it now because I'm not going to wander off yet.
Yeah, it's the key word. Okay, with that roll, it's important for you to know.
And
Okay.
then I'll, if I'm done, I'll wake Fleet up.
Yeah, with that, you'd be done, and Fleet would kind of wake up and just, see anything?
Just a dragon and go to bed.
What? As you go to bed. Fleet will give us his roll. It's not good.
Didn't lie. I saw a dragon earlier that day.
Yeah, it's true. With that, Fleet rouses you all in the morning as the sun crests over the horizon, warming the vicinity. There is, at this point, now with a sunrise, rising in the east, framing the forest, the surrounding mist seems incredibly thick, almost like you're turning on headlights in fog, but just surrounding the base trunks of these trees. What's poking out is about the top third of these pine. As you're traveling north, it seems to be a nice mix of deciduous trees.
So we got a long rest?
You do. Everybody gains the benefits of a long rest.
Yahoo!
Okay. What form was Ruby in when we left off? Was she a sprite?
She was a sprite, yes.
How much time do we have before we set out?
We'll go right after breakfast.
How much time do you need?
I'd like an hour or so.
It's fine.
Breakfast can take an hour or so.
If you want to go check out the forest, though, there's growth doesn't seem right.
Okay.
I don't think it's natural.
Which way? Which direction?
The growth right over there, and I pointed out to him the stuff
So-
I saw last night.
With Leaf pointing it out, it's tough to make out, but with Leaf's assistance, you are able to just barely make out through the mist these very strange clusters of ivy and thorns and thickets in the vicinity.
Can I take a look at it?
It is a half day's walk away. So you're
Oh, I
just...
thought it was right there.
Oh.
Oh, no. So it is... So I was about to say, the forest itself is a half day's walk away.
Sorry.
Oh.
These
Because I
thickets...
could see it from there, I thought it was within.
No,
reach.
it is... The fact that you can see it speaks to its size.
Never mind.
Okay. Can I look at it from where I'm standing?
Yes, give me a nature check with advantage.
15.
15. Using your knowledge of dragons, and just based on what Leaf has told you and the knowledge of where dragons have gone, you know that dragons do exert a level of regional control over the areas that they have chosen to be their lair. You're not sure what this relates to, but you do know that this is not natural. It looks wildly different in your travels than what you would normally see in a forest that contains this type of flora in the area. Much to the same degree that Leaf would have that understanding.
I'm going to put my ring back on and say, hey, if you want to help with this spell, you can. It's just, I have to cast Find Familiar again to change it.
You hear a yawn in your head. "Yeah, okay, I'd be happy to help."
It's going to be boring.
Okay, I'll observe.
I'm going to do it as a ritual so I don't waste the slot just in case, but
Okay,
hour and
so
10 minutes.
you set out your components,
Yep.
getting out your book, and just... Actually, you don't need your book, do you? Set your components.
I don't have a book.
Sit there, meditate for a moment, and all of you, as you're preparing breakfast and eating with what rations that you have been able to gather from the area.
And you're okay if I just remove 10 gold for the
I am
components?
absolutely okay with that.
Done. Okay.
After about an hour and 10 minutes, there is a slight... you sense a shift in the vicinity. Don't necessarily see anything change, unless Leaf would like Ruby to be revealed. or
Ruby
invisible.
cannot. Ruby isn't invisible as a pseudo dragon. That's a
Okay, so
strike
she's a pseudo dragon? Got it. So you see this pseudo dragon kind of on Leaf's shoulder.
Have we seen Ruby before?
She
No.
would have to be visible whenever she casts a spell.
Yeah, so she is
Okay.
turned visible twice in my knowledge.
But would we have seen her as a pseudo dragon
you would
before?
have seen her as a sprite.
Okay.
You'd be aware that there is a familiar that is traveling with Leaf. You wouldn't necessarily know it's under those terms.
Okay.
But there is this entity that travels with Leaf now. You've never seen it take this form.
Huh.
So we're ready to go now?
Yep.
Cool.
You all take part eating what you were able to gather. It's
That Ruby?
Yeah.
Just never seen her look like that before. That's kind of neat.
It's just a familiar thing. They can usually take any form that they want. She's a little special. She can do this form and a couple others that
That's cool.
if Fleet gets one, he wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, it'd be neat. You see Fleet just kind of staring at it a little bit.
He could have a cat or a dog. He could have a dog as a familiar.
I don't want a dog. I don't want a
That'd
dog.
be amazing.
Nope, no dog.
How would your brothers feel about me adopting a direwolf?
They probably love it.
Maybe I'll talk to them when we get back.
Good idea. They're
You
gonna
would-
have a whole litter.
Yeah, you would know they're about to have a litter of puppies.
A
Excited.
ton of puppies.
So I checked out the plant life you pointed out, and it's I think we should go take a deeper look at it.
Which way is the kid we're supposed to rescue?
He's in the forest, isn't he?
Past the is it in this forest or a different forest?
It's this forest, right?
You would know that King Melandrach has told you it is in the Misty Forest.
Which is where we're
Oh,
near,
which is
right?
Here. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought we were going way over here.
No,
Never
yeah, the
mind.
Misty
Yeah,
Forest
no.
is right there.
It's kind of in this forest here that we were supposed to go to.
Leaf suddenly realizes.
Yeah.
Did he say what his son's name was?
Nirenbane.
Well, I guess if we're
I
headed
wrote
that way
down.
anyway.
I have them all written down here.
I did
Shall
too.
we then, I guess?
If you like. Fleetfoot. We taking the carpet?
If you don't mind. I don't want to walk that far.
Were we just gonna leave it here and walk?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Hey.
And you see him take it out and,
Hey, Leaf,
and
can you hang back for a sec? Oh, we're on the carpet.
Yeah, you.
Sorry,
it's
never
a
mind.
big carpet.
Never
if
mind.
you'd like to take a moment to have the conversation prior to, feel free. I'll say while Fleetfoot's getting the carpet out
Mhm.
of his cloak.
So
Sure, whatever.
I would have said the ask the son's question out loud.
Yeah.
And then I did not mean to throw that at you. I'm so sorry.
You would have thrown a stylus at me? That's
Yes.
cool.
Fuck
What's
you.
this do?
I would
This
have.
is a strange implement. I didn't know it existed.
I would've-
in Florida.
Wand? Let me try.
This
I
is in
would've-
focus.
I pulled Leaf aside. Do you remember in the cave, the tunnel with Bryn, the list we found
Yeah,
of all the rim speakers?
yeah.
Near in vain is the green rim speaker.
Was he?
Yeah.
Wait, I have it written down.
I do too. I just pulled it up.
Sorry, that was out of character. Hold on. Yes, he's at Misty Forest, and that sounds. Yup.
So, and near vain's supposed to be the sun that's dead, correct? Or is this near vain the sun that's alive?
Are you asking God?
We were
Does player
told to check with the sun. I didn't remember which sun was killed and
Yeah.
which sun was alive.
You would
we
remember that-
assumed it was the living sun that we had to check on. It might be the dead one.
You would remember that Melandrach asked you to check on Nirenbane, the son he saw die.
Okay.
His other son,
Yeah, I'm
Isn't-
confused.
his other son was called to investigate
This forest.
Dragonspear Castle.
Okay.
Because Melandrach specifically commended you for routing the forces that were at Dragonreach Castle. Or Dragonspear Castle, my
And that's the no, that's Skyreach. I was not at Dragonspear. Dragonspear was with all
that
the.
was the last time that you were with us, actually, before you left on your personal quest.
Oh, Dragonspear was the.
The Necromantic Orcs.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
No,
Did we
no
happen
worries.
to mention to Melandrach that the name of the green.
We
dragon-
didn't.
We did not know because we're realizing that right now.
This is my concern.
That's a good concern.
He could be in on it.
The king?
Could be. Think about it. The cult would only benefit from the support of the elves.
I don't think the cult or the king are that smart.
Well, we just had 3 dragons fly in on us in a single town
And they didn't succeed.
in killing us, no, but they just succeeded in destroying the town, which is probably what they did. Also, if they didn't succeed at killing us, how did they know we were there?
I don't think they did.
Something doesn't sound right here, and I'd like to have a very in-depth conversation with this council when we get back. If we get back.
I'm gonna pass on that conversation.
I'll
'cause
do it
I've
myself.
tried
It's
it
fine.
before, and
It's
like
fine.
talking to
I also wasn't at the.
trees have better conversations.
I also wasn't at the last council meeting with you guys.
You didn't.
I know you tell me I didn't miss anything,
No,
but
you missed stuff, but it was mostly a toddler convention with them slinging insults at each other and not giving us any information because they were afraid of each other.
well, maybe it's time we go in there and we demand information.
We did. We made them come to us, actually.
Well, I think we need to keep up that strategy. Anyway,
So
I think we should be very cautious going here if
Oh, I mean, we're gonna go
this
kill another
Nirvain's
dragon.
alive. Something's
I don't
not right
think
there.
Nirvain is actually alive. I have a feeling he's dead.
Oh.
But I also there was the blue dragon guy that was dead.
But remember
and
what
walking.
Bryn wanted. She wanted to become the Grim Speaker, and she spoke very poorly of Nirvain.
Yep.
Almost like he was still alive.
Yep. Or he's still around.
Yeah, that's
Hey
true.
guys, what you talking about? Fleet's got the carpet ready.
Balasar just kind of toddles over to you guys. Hey!
We need to be cautious.
What happened to you?
We're just ready to
So, let's go.
Fleetfoot's like patting it like it's a sedan that's floating 3 feet off the ground. It's like it's this Honda Accord. Just dunk.
Hey,
I'm sorry. It's this Toyota Camry. Does that make me feel better? Dunk. This is not a sponsored
So we
podcast.
go in, we take it out, and we go back home.
yeah,
Isn't that what, I thought that was the plan.
yes. So, let's go.
There's really not much more other than directing these guys at what they need to hit.
Yeah. You ready to go hit something?
Absolutely.
See?
Let's do it. Fleet.
To the carpet.
With that,
Can I, when we get on the carpet, I'm gonna cast use Primeval Awareness again.
okay,
I'm gonna use a 2nd level spell slot for that.
okay.
Any dragons within a mile?
Let me look at something actually.
Didn't I also tell Bryn that I'd be taking over the Worm Figure?
I don't think you told me that. I don't think I was here for that.
I think it was during the fight with Bryn.
Didn't we also talk about that on the caravan?
Infiltrating, yes, not
Yeah.
what Lee
I think-
told Bryn.
I think that might have been a personal quest that I didn't know about. I don't
Because
remember.
the only other time he's seen Bryn has been in your presence, and I think he told Bryn, right?
The only time it was ever mentioned was during the encounter with Brent, and it was mentioned offhand.
So I didn't hear it, or I didn't understand it.
So I think Tiburon at that point would have heard it, but I don't know if he had fully
Understood it.
contextualized it yet.
And she said that she wanted to become the green. I'm sorry. Are you
Yeah.
saying also? Are you saying this as Leaf, or are you saying this
I'm
as
trying to remember
player?
what
Okay.
happened. I think she said that to Leaf, and Leaf's like, "Yeah, well, I'll do it then." And it was just kind of
Okay. So it would have been like a little over my head.
It was very much banter between this person who's attempting to taunt and an individual who is not having any of it.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
No. That's a good question to ask, right? Player knowledge, like Leaf
Mhm.
said that, but it, out of context for Tiburon, he'd be like, these two people just don't like each other.
Mhm.
Balasar wouldn't know, neither would Fleetfoot. Like, they would never have heard it before. Okay, so as you all climb on the carpet, Fleetfoot mutters, "Stew," and it picks up.
Tyron chuckles every time that happens. By the way,
Okay,
just
fair,
just a little.
fair enough. Stew.
Hey guys, are we gonna have stew for dinner tonight? Does the carpet go back down?
Yes.
Like aloha.
Yeah. It is the activation word for the carpet. So if stew is mentioned again, I was waiting for somebody to figure it out. So you've taken off and traveled a good
Stu.
60 feet, and then Leaf makes that statement and it starts to dip back down ever so slowly. Fleetfoot looks around, panicking a little bit. And Balasar just shouts, "Stow!" And it picks back up once more. This is going to be a roller coaster now that we figured out this fun trick. So, you all begin
It's a
your...
good thing everybody can fly on their own, right?
I can't.
Oh, well, okay.
You can't.
Nope.
You should work on that.
I really enjoyed being fast, so
Yeah.
I digress. I'm sorry.
Haste is broken, guys. 4 arrows. Holy shit. Okay, so you travel for the next what would be about half a day. So that's you're going for about 6 hours, and eventually make yourself travel towards the. You're traveling towards the forest proper, or do you want to? How do you want to approach this? Are you circling around? Are you moving directly there? What's it look like?
How did my primeval awareness do?
Excellent question. As you are
I'm
on
gonna head straight to the tree line, and
Yeah.
then from there.
Straight line, probably.
straight line. Okay, so I would say you primeval awareness is for what? A minute?
A minute per spell level. So I need
So
a
second
second
level, so 2
level
minutes.
spell.
Okay, this is actually important. You pick up and you take off. For the first minute and a half, you feel nothing in the vicinity. Within a mile, you feel nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as you continue moving, you catch the faintest ping on your radar. And then 30 seconds later, whether by the spell fading or through that ping's movement, disappears.
And it was draconic.
Yes.
There is a dragon nearby.
Another one?
Well, let's be on guard then.
Can you tell what kind, or just that there is a dragon?
Just that there is a dragon. If I can get closer to this forest, I might be able to discern what type of dragon. So when we get up there, I'll take a closer look.
We can get closer to the forest.
Yeah, like
I'm not scared of the forest.
I'm afraid of no ghost. Okay, so you guys make your...
Balasar's a little scared of forests. But
No, I'm not.
he just doesn't get out much.
no, he doesn't.
There was something out there.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I felt it.
There was.
I
Yeah.
literally just felt it.
That's what I'm saying.
You're
You
not
didn't run
wrong.
into it, though.
You did something right. I give him a pat on the back.
It's probably a basilisk.
Give me an insight check, Balasar.
Do you need a deception? What do you need?
No, it was just a standard...
I'm being
how it-
truthful.
It's just a standard of how it comes across to him.
Well, I rolled a 2.
You know what?
You probably
You
messed with the basilisk. You were lucky.
Tybron and Leaf right now, you feel good, man. Like they're
We proud.
building you up. There's some pride that swells in your chest. You know that you are
might
an
be a
urban...
ranger.
You're an urban guy. Like you get urban settings.
Hashtag Bally Strong.
But man, you detected some shit. And you feel good. You feel damn good.
You might be a little bit of a ranger.
Let's go this forest, guys. Let's get it.
But it's hard to not grin with the pride. The two of you and Fleetfoot just see Balasar this wicked grin on his face, like, yes.
So it's due for dinner, right?
Do.
On the roller coaster ride, you begin to notice. So at about the 4th hour of flying, you begin to notice that these thickets, and yeah, it's tough. I mean, the scale of these trees are immense.
This is way smoother than riding a horse.
Mm-hmm.
You don't miss Bubbles?
I had a horse once.
Don't
You
know what
guys
it
left
is.
bubbles behind.
Are we closer to the forest now?
That was
You-
Fleetfoot.
You,
I was not a part of that.
you are a little bit closer at this point. I would say at about 4 hours of your flight, as you're making it towards midday, you begin to notice that these strange thistle bushes extend out of the forest a ways as well, and are small, but you're able to pick them out because the mist is not as thick. The next 2 hours bring you to the edge of the forest, and it is at this point that you recognize that these babies are pretty damn big. We're talking slightly larger than what would be a redwood. They're massive in size and scale in their trunks, and they extend what would be a 2 to 3 stories high. They're big. Some of them extending as far as 50 feet in height. And it is at this point it becomes, even with your vision, all of you having the ability to see in darkness, you're not necessarily dealing with darkness. You're dealing with a thick fog that just emanates from the forest and limits your vision to about 15 feet in front of you, and then it gets
380 feet.
What was it?
Redwoods are like 380 feet tall.
Yeah, oh shit, they're tall as redwoods. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they big.
They big. Thank you, Balasar.
You're welcome.
Sorry, listeners, I'm ill-informed. So it limits your vision to about what's in 15 feet in front of you. Outside of that, for the next 20 some odd feet, so about 35 feet, you're seeing silhouettes and shadows that are quite hazy. Beyond, it's tough to make much out.
You right.
You've made your way to the edge of the canopy, and this is extending up pretty high. You could fly at the top of the tree level, but at which point
We should
fairly
probably
high up in the
go
sky.
down.
What, is it actual fog or is it magical fog? Like, is it really there? Hold on, I have my gem of seeing attuned.
That is a thing that you do have.
Can I see the thicket or the?
You'd have to be fairly close
Can I
to the
do
ground.
an Arcana check on the fog?
Yes.
Because it's one of my spells.
Yeah.
21.
21. Doesn't give you any sort of magical essence.
Doesn't seem like my fog.
It doesn't look anything like you've cast a spell before in a cave where it was dark. Doesn't look like your fog.
No, I don't think I need to use it yet.
Can we go down to the ground so I can take a peek at it?
Sure. All right. You
Stew.
see?
Works
You go
well.
into semi free fall, and as you approach the ground, Fleetfoot says, "Stoop quietly," and guides you very gently onto the ground, being careful to avoid the bramble brush that seems to permeate the forest floor. You have two scouts here who are very adept at moving through this type of terrain, or being able to move through difficult terrain. Both of you know that this is going to be tough to get through on foot.
Moving through non-magical difficult terrain costs me no extra movement,
That's fantastic.
and I
It's
can
gonna be
pass
difficult
through
for you.
non-magic plants without being slowed.
That's great. It's going to cost you double movement to make it through these plants.
I have advantage on saving throws against plants that are magically created or manipulated to impede movement.
I know that.
Okay.
They're not impeding your movement yet.
It'd be easier to go through the trees.
Can I take a look at it?
You can if you'd like to. That'd be a nature check. Or actually investigation on this. But you've landed in a small clearing at this point.
That's a good roll.
Natural
Still kind of
20.
a good number.
Not natural. Most certainly magical. And you can almost witness its life force continue to extend outward with that roll.
Maybe we stay off the ground.
Oh,
How high? Is it vines? Is it
So it
like
varies.
a briar patch?
It varies in size, right? From anywhere from thorns and patches of thorns that are 3 feet by 3 feet to things that extend 10 feet off the ground.
Maybe we stay off the ground.
It's the most annoying hedge maze that also can hurt you, with vines that seem to want to impede your movement at any point on the ground.
Yeah, let's stay off
So
the
we-
ground.
Can we just fly in?
I was gonna
Yeah,
say we just
let's
ride
fly
the
in.
carpet around these trees, kind of.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, you all looking at the vicinity, determining, don't want none of that. Pop back on the carpet. Take off about, how high do you want to do to negotiate this?
How high are the like if I was standing in front of the bushes, like how high are the
You
brambles?
said about 10 feet, right?
They range anywhere from 3 to 10 feet.
I'd
So
say
like 15 feet.
So you're gonna.
I'd say between 15, 20, and 25.
It is going to be slow going, trying to maneuver and navigate through this. Just because of limited visibility.
Mhm.
So with that, who would like to take point on this navigation
I will.
It's going to be a survival check.
Well, there's also me who never gets lost.
That is true.
Do you want to take it?
It's up to you if you don't think you'll get lost, but that's my whole background is...
I can help you.
Okay.
Do you want a helmet?
So it'd be a survival check with advantage, Leaf.
Okay.
So as you begin moving your way into the forest, you are making a mental note of the direction that you have traveled.
24.
24. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is
No,
actually important because that's a great roll. Where are you intending to?
That's not correct.
Oh, it's not
21.
21.
Sorry.
Still a good roll. Let me ask you this: where are you all intending to go? Like, what is your intended destination at this point within the forest? What are you looking for?
Source of the fog to see where the vines are coming from. Because you said they were coming out, right? So
It
they've got
seems
to.
if they're pervasive on the ground.
So if they're magical, they've got to have a point of origin.
You would assume.
I also
I
am
would-
going to assume that us flying in on a carpet is going to bring whatever we're looking for to us.
Yeah.
Probably could, especially if you felt that there was a dragon just close by.
Yeah.
So if we fly in, that'll be the issue. If we try to walk in, we'll be dealing with this stuff.
Yeah. If it's a large dragon, it's going to have to be able to maneuver through here too, and it'll be slowed.
But, I mean, are we just going into the forest to scout it out and see if we can find something to find, or what are we?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we're looking.
We have to start somewhere.
We're gonna just go.
Why don't we follow these plants, these thickets, to see if they have a point of origin, if they're coming from somewhere.
I'm not okay. Are they linear, or from my understanding, they're in the whole forest?
They are in the whole forest. They
Okay.
do not.
So I don't know how tracking them is going to work. 'Cause
So
they're just
looking,
there.
even with the investigation, it doesn't seem as if they're moving in a clear path.
Okay. I
Right?
misunderstood you
It's
then.
not going to give you a line to wherever you're heading. It
If you-
looks to be
if you
pervasive
replace-
and extending out.
Okay.
If you replace the vines with what we saw in the cloakwood when we were there with the decay, it could be the same thing.
Yeah. Why don't we just go in further to see if we see anything more out of the ordinary?
Sounds good.
General scouting.
A general recon mission. Got it.
General recon mission?
Knowing that what's his face is supposed to be in here somewhere, even though he's dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that about sums it up. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I can send Ruby off in a different direction if we really want to find
Yeah, I
multiple
mean,
things, but
I mean, this will save us some time.
you can fly off in a different direction too.
Waste that move. But if you want me to, I will.
yeah, he might get lost.
I actually don't understand that there's only one time that you do that. I see it happen.
I can only do that once a day
Mhm.
for 10 minutes. And then I'll be stuck wherever I
10
am.
minutes.
If I can't find you in that 10 minutes as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, not for me.
It's
And in this bramble bush, I don't really want to be stuck in that bramble bush, so I'm gonna say no to that one.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try
let's just
something.
go on in there. Okay.
I take out a regular arrow and
Okay.
just drop it off the side.
Okay.
Now here, does it like attack it? Does it?
You drop it. You hear it stick in the ground. No apparent change.
Okay.
Okay, so we've determined with that roll of 21, it is a general mission into the vicinity. Yes?
I believe so. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so you all begin traveling, skimming, making sure to skim the strange towering bramble bushes by about 5 to 6 feet at any time. It makes for an interesting bit of travel as you are changing heights every so often. Leaf, you are ever vigilant, right? For you're comfortable here. Looking about, you recognize within the forest the natural layout and expansion of what would be this forest as it has grown outward, starting from its smallest days when it was merely just a patch. Continuing your travels in, making sure to note your location so that way, given the need, you can book it. You are able to guide the group in a general inward pathway towards what you would be able to recognize as the center of the forest. It's slow going, even with that roll, just because of the lack of visibility. You often find yourself, Leaf, you'd take a look at the tree and say, yes, mental note, I'm going to mark this as a location that I will remember if we need to make our way out. For the rest of you, you're seeing Leaf kind of adopt this old element of scouting of himself and just, okay, here we are. Yes, here I am. And just kind of adopt this for a moment as you begin guiding your way into the forest. Even with that roll, it takes the better part of about 3 hours before Leaf, you see at first a change in the canopy where the trees begin to become much larger and there is greater space between them. Looking about, you also notice that the thicket beneath becomes a bit more sparse, and I say that hesitantly because I don't want you to think that it just disappears completely. Leaf, you are able to tell that it looks like the thicket is being violently beaten back by some sort of man-made means. And through the fog, just barely, you're able to make out structures that seem to be part of, although not wholly conjoined with, the trees in the vicinity.
I think these are the good guys. Right here, in these buildings.
Let's go take a look.
Do you not see the buildings?
I would also say, just give me a general perception check, Leaf.
Buildings.
Just as you're making your way through.
20.
Okay. As you're guiding and getting close to each of these trees, just ensuring that you don't run you guys headlong into something. That's going to be fun to listen to in audio later. You almost miss it. But as you fly past, you forcibly yank the carpet to go back and take a second look at the side of this massive tree. And the bark that seems to be smoothly grown as the tree is aged has a very clear bit of damage where it looks as if it has almost been eaten away. And it exists in the place where you're looking and we're able to catch it. It seems small. But then as you look to the next tree and guide the carpet there, you see that there's actually this swath of about 80 feet across between trees. And from the forest floor up, you see this almost erratic bits of decay. And I hesitate to say the word decay, but almost decay, I mean eaten away. The bark has been almost dissolved in some areas.
Do you guys see this?
Pointing it out, you are able to take a look at what Leaf is mentioning. The change in color also strikes you all as well, from the healthy browns and reds to what is strangely white and gray, with a little bit of tinges of yellow.
It also seems like somebody's been gardening down there.
Yeah.
Well, let's find the gardener.
I don't know if they are the same people who did this or not.
Yeah. Let's go down.
Okay,
I think we might have found the elves, because weren't the elves having problems?
Mm-hmm.
You fly the carpet down, settling it just beside the entangling growth at your backs. On the floor of the forest, the mist seems to be less dense here, and as you look around, it looks almost as if it's being consistently moved, though not by any sort of wind, as you have not felt any in your time within this forest. What you are able to recognize are a number of silhouettes of very tall and lithe individuals moving erratically throughout the vicinity, and it seems as if it's tough to make out distance, but you know based on what you've seen thus far, they're darting between about 30 and 40 feet away as they move out of your visual range before this woman kind of comes out of the fog and almost walking at an angle away from you towards the overgrowth, seemingly not recognizing your presence.
What does she look like?
You see a silhouette at this point,
Okay.
so I'd say give me a perception check if you want to make
Okay.
it a point to try to examine the features.
Yeah.
It is with disadvantage, though, because of the mist.
I rolled 2 18s.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Plus 7.
All right.
It's
Thin,
25.
lithe, graceful are what you're able to make out. With that roll, you are able to see there is a distinct point to the ear as the head shifts, and the hair itself is tied up into a bun that sits on the top of the head. You aren't able to make out any features as
Okay.
you're looking at a silhouette, but you are able to see the details of the silhouette.
In Elvish, so I think only you would understand it. Well, Fleet would too, because he's got the robe or whatever.
Fleet also speaks Elvish, just as a...
Oh, okay. Well, in Elvish, I would say... Oh, Jesus, what would I say?
He just said, "Oh Jesus," what he said.
Yes? No. Who's Jesus?
Good afternoon.
There's a halt. This individual stops.
I don't think she knew we were here.
And she looks, and in Elvish you hear a call. A light voice that seems to just... Leaf, you're familiar with this sort of timbre when Elven is spoken. You heard it growing up. Hello? Who's there? Doesn't move.
What's she saying in Draconic?
I hear you. Someone there that speaks the harsher tongue.
Pardon my dialect.
I believe she was talking about the Draconic
Oh,
that was
well,
just spoken, but that's...
Pardon his dialect.
We're a meat soup group. We've come at the behest of King Melendrock.
Hearing the name, the individual, there's tension. And Leaf, with your passive insight, would see a little bit of the tension ease in the shoulders and begins walking towards you. Still with a bit of trepidation. Emerging, you see a elven woman, tanned skin, face,
Sorry,
youthful
played a hunch.
features,
Sorry, I played a hunch.
eyes that are a bit slanted, beautiful green in color, hair a light brown.
Full Elvish?
Full Elvish. Looking, she stands at about 6 feet in height. Very tall woman, lithe form. Emerges, looks at you all, and still in Elvish, says, "You mentioned Melendrock? What do you know of King Melendrock?"
He said that he sent us here
To Atland.
to the Misty Forest to look for his son, and mentioned that there was draconic incursions here.
Well, you've got one of those things right.
Which one? The incursions or his son?
Look around. What do you think?
I knew it.
What color is it?
It's not black or white, I know that.
She looks at you, her head tilts, and she eyes between you and walks over to the vines and points.
I guess it's
This
green.
is one from a green dragon.
See, yep. That makes sense.
That's what I thought. Have you seen it?
Her eyes fill with pain, and she looks at you all. Make a persuasion check.
I have no idea what's going on right now.
Yeah, it's Elvish. Like
18.
Fleetfoot is rapidly translating in your ear.
Leaf is literally sitting.
18. She looks at you and walks forward.
You ask him the same question of a white, it'll make him feel the same way you do.
What?
I have a feeling they've seen it very recently.
If you want to come inside the town, you will know if we've seen it recently. There were once 300 strong. Now there are less than 80 of us. Yes, we've seen the dragon, and the dragon has seen us. But we are the lucky village,
You are.
and we know it. It has been some time since it's come to us, we are not so lucky of our sister villages.
Alright. Let's go kill it.
How are you able to hold it off? How are you able to hold off the all of this?
Well, this takes constant work. It's actually where I was going. I don't know how it has been delayed. You might want to talk to our warden, Galen, about that. Although he's not been in a state recently, the dragon has taken his wife and his only son.
Sorry, I'm just looking up some notes.
Okay, no worries. She just kind of looks between you all, and then switches back to common as she stares at you, who has been like rapidly translating through. I also speak the common tongue.
Oh, I know that one.
You look like no dragonborn I've ever seen before.
What do you mean?
Your mange.
Have you not looked in a mirror recently?
I mean, not in a while.
If I've seen you on sight, I would not know whether you were green or silver. Is that silver? And you see her begin to approach you to like look more intently at you. Do you stop her because she is about to examine the shit?
If she's
out of
coming
you?
closer to stare at me, I actually kind of want to like get up in her face a little bit and like kind of like let her look, but like in her face.
Okay, so she seemingly you watch this woman, zero fear, walks directly up to Balasar, significantly taller, and then as he leans down to stare back, thank you, I appreciate that, and unfazed.
She survived a much bigger dragon than him?
Mm-hmm.
That's not silver, that's platinum.
Do you see the flecks of gold?
Not on your face.
And I hold up an arm.
She removes the gauntlet. Ah, that is odd. Well, intriguing.
You should see what happens when I die.
Don't ask.
I wasn't going
You-
to.
you-
I must get back to work. If you'd like to find Galen, he was in one of the only remaining homes in our town. It's not hard to find.
Very well. Thank you.
If you intend to aid us, I wish you luck.
You as well.
Well, we intend to solve the dragon problem.
Well,
That'll likely aid you.
that does qualify as aid. Whatever your reasons, I do wish you luck.
It's a Tuesday.
Indeed.
Let's go find Galen then.
So she
Yeah, but he's not in any sort of way to talk, but let's see what happens.
Could be fun.
So you all
Fleet would be really good at that.
Or we could just go look at the set dragon.
Maybe he can tell us where it went.
do you all continue into the town?
Sure.
Okay. Are you? So I'd say as you all walk into the town, give me perception checks just to kind of what you make out.
10.
11.
Perception. Natural 20.
Okay.
You did better than we did.
A little bit. Okay.
Didn't mean to.
I mean, story-wise, it makes sense. Leaf is in his element at this point in terms of being in a forest. This is an old town. As you walk through, you know that these structures have stood for some time. They have been grown into and then from, now extending actually out from the trees. Things that you've seen your family do, although on a much grander scale, simply because there's been more time. You also looking throughout the town, all of you would see the lithe movement of very sparse individuals, and I'm talking lithe even though it's erratic. And Leaf, you would recognize this as jumpy. These people are on alert. They don't know what's happening. They've been under siege for an extended period of time, and they are therefore looking out for anything that could be a potential threat.
Balasar. Don't make any loud noises or sudden movements.
Where?
Here.
Right here.
Anywhere in this town. These people are nervous.
Don't do that until we tell you to.
So if you set fire to things in here, they're gonna get upset.
I'll do my best.
Okay. And you're big and dragon looking, so they're gonna be kind of nervous.
Okay. You all continue through the town. As you do, it's tough to make out, but Leaf, you are actually able to see this.
Okay.
So there is a very clear perimeter to the town, given they have taken very concerted efforts to carve out the plant life that seems to be unnaturally making its way through the vicinity. As you scan, jumping from dwelling to dwelling, and the change in size, the number of stories, nothing that you haven't seen previously, just it strikes you that, oh wow, this is what we could do if we had a lot more time in the Cloakwood. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
You see that there is a large tree that seems to be at a central square of the town, untouched. Branches that extend, unlike the others that seem to be fairly well manicured on their trunks moving up, this actually has branches extending throughout the base, making up the central hub of the town. On it, you see the silhouette of a figure that is unmoving and seems to be pinned to the tree about 30 feet off the ground.
Like uncomfortably pinned? Like that's not, or he intends to be there and he's just hanging out.
Pinned, unmoving, does not make any sense how that body should be there and not. There's no branches around them to hold him up.
I don't understand.
So you'd be looking, yeah. So if you'd like to go closer and investigate, you can. At this point, you're about
Is
you'd
that
be
Galen?
30 feet away from the tree and about it's 30 feet up.
I go closer.
Is it alive? I don't even know.
Galen!
You hear a couple hushed whispers, but no response when you shout Galen. Tybron, as you walk up,
Oh, sorry,
hearing
I'm
Leaf
supposed
kind
to
of
be quiet.
question.
Are you just randomly shouting Galen's name in the streets, dude?
Leaf, good question, Leaf.
Why are we doing this?
You literally just told me, I'm sorry. I forgot already.
Jesus. Tybron, you hear Leaf mutter, I don't know if it's alive or dead, and you walk up, just kind of seeing the figure. Most decidedly dead.
So that's not Galen.
It is clad in robes that have been eaten away, and the frayed cloth that is a bright yellow and white. Female. And has been forcibly attached to the trunk of this tree by means it's tough to make out at this distance, but being unnaturally held as a bit of a monument to incite fear.
Oh, she probably got smacked into the tree by a dragon or something.
What? Can I tell what species it is?
It is an elf.
Did they put her up there themselves?
I don't.
What
I
is
don't
going
know.
on?
I don't know. Sartha doesn't know either. He's just kind of looking around like things are crazy.
How long is
I don't know.
How long has this person been dead?
That'd be a medicine check for me, please.
Go on to find Galen.
8.
Investigation check. 8?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. It's been a while.
So is it like straight skeletal, or is it
It
like
is decaying.
okay?
Doesn't smell good.
Investigation 12.
And you said white and yellow robes.
Same color skin tone, but seemingly bloated and a little bit more yellowed as the woman you met previously.
Okay. I'm so confused. Let's go find Galen.
Natural 20 on the perception roll, man. What it would take to see it. So, 12 investigation. Is anybody aiding Leaf with the investigation? I imagine that's the case.
Yeah.
So it'd be with advantage, Leaf.
14.
14. Okay. You search through the streets and eventually happen across a few different villagers who see you and kind of questioningly emerge. Very brief, stunted conversations. In this time, you hear, just in passing, Galen's location is towards the south, the southwestern side of the town. He's taken up in the new warden's home that was pretty heavily damaged during the first attack. In these conversations, just kind of in passing, you gather that there have been 7 of these incursions or raids. Each one, individuals have either been killed or taken. The bodies that were taken they don't know what has taken place. Both alive and dead individuals have been removed from the town.
Bet you they're guard drakes.
And you are able to
Mutations.
gather just through your through your passive insight. These folks are under a great deal of mental strain, and the fact that there are new folks here and the mention of King Melendrak, there is the tiniest sliver of hope, but it is very much. They are guarded to hope too much. They're like, okay, great. We've seen what this has happened to us, but what can you do, really? It's one of those, like, we appreciate it, but we don't know what's going to happen. They're in this unknown flux, right? So just with your passive insight, you get that feeling. But they are able to point you after about what would be about an hour of just kind of wandering around this fairly large city, or town, rather, the location to the quarters, and you're able to make your way there. Upon approaching, you see a 2-story structure, the entire second story of which has been leveled. Wood that seems to have been, once again, made from the tree structure itself, has torn away. There are very clear gashes and claw marks made within this, very deep rivets that run. All of you would recognize these as claw marks, right? You've seen this happen before on takeoff and landing for these large draconic structures, or beings, entities. The interior of which the door has been blown open and replaced by a curtain. That is this deep purple in color. What would you like to do?
Go in.
Okay. As you slide back the curtain fabric that's frayed and tattered, looking inside, you see a modest office-looking dwelling. There is a slim elf who sits at the desk, pale, even for just pale, looking very stressed and harried, who behind the desk is sitting and writing rapidly. As you enter, he looks up just quickly and jumpily, and then you see him force this smile. It's just, hello, I've heard that there are folks in the town. That's you all, I suppose. My name is... And you see him scratch. My name is Galen.
Galen, yes.
I wish we had... I apologize for our lack of hospitality.
Here, I'll get you a drink. I'll pull out my alchemy jug and make some ale.
And you see him, his hands are wringing together. He says, yes, thank you. And he reaches out and just grabs a mug from his desk. It's a wooden mug and hands it out. Just, thank you.
I'll give him a nice mug of ale.
Just
Here you
holds
go.
it to himself. And you see at this point his hands are shaking and he's very much looking harried. It's the hair that you can tell was once long and quite straight, looks tangled and knotted and coated with just refuse and
I
items
don't
from the
think he's going to know much specifics.
boughs of the tree. And he's, so
That was literally said out loud in front of him just now.
No, yeah.
oh, to which attack?
Well,
When was the last one?
when was it? Do you know where they're at? Do you know
So
What color?
green? We got green.
green.
Just want to confirm.
We got green.
I want to make sure the stories are straight.
So the dragon came most recently, 3 days ago. And with it took a number of our people, at least 5 alive this time, and before took out the northeastern part of the town.
Which direction does it go when it leaves?
It typically flies to the northwest. But
Can we track somebody that we, like, if 5 living people were taken from there, can we find them? Do we have a way to track them if we know who they are?
I don't.
Neither do I.
I don't have locate person.
If anybody would like to roll an insight check on Galen, you can.
I would actually.
Man's been through some shit.
Oh, I did pretty good.
22.
22, thank you.
Yours is good too.
Leaf, what was yours?
23.
23?
16.
16. Balatar, this man is nervous. He's seen a lot, and I'll do it for Fleetfoot too, just and I'll send him a bit. Wasn't great. This man is nervous. He's jumpy. You all see him as nervous and jumpy, but he's also quite reserved. It's not like he's intentionally being super reserved. It is just that for whatever reason, he's not. The questions aren't landing.
All right, so I'm gonna sit down.
You're able to find a pretty cozy chair that seems.
It's probably gonna take a while.
Okay.
All right. Calm down. I'm sure you've heard of the people who have. Where have we saved? I don't even know. How many places now are from dragons? What?
Well, we've killed 2 different white dragons. We saved the last town from a red dragon. And I personally am a champion of Elturel, and Meat Supergroup has done a bunch of other crazy stuff, including going in a castle in the sky. It was crazy.
His head is just kind of nodding. And
has sent us here to help you guys with the dragon problem.
The king.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you know of Nirenbane?
So
Who?
Nirenbane, his son.
So how about the location of where this dragon is?
I've only seen fly northwest.
Northwest.
And into the fog. Near in vain.
Mm-hmm.
The last I know of, he's dead.
What do you know of the cult of the Dragon Queen?
They are here currently. Attacking Atland. And I would very much like them to leave. I've lost my wife Nyanel and my son. My son.
All right, and this is a hard question. I'm sorry to ask it.
Yeah,
Do you have a way to speak to them now? Are they still amongst us?
He just leans back a bit and he goes, the priestess could, but she was killed. She's on the tree.
Who put her up there?
Oh, that's who that is.
The dragon used a tooth to stick her in the tree.
So why does he keep the rest of you alive?
I don't know.
Can I see what you're writing there?
Yes. And he just kind of pushes the papers out. I don't know what you find. It's reports to the other towns.
I take a look at it.
Okay. Looking through what you're able to find, or as you kind of begin flipping through these papers, you see are some hastily scrawled letters of requesting aid.
Mm-hmm.
There are some other locations mentioned. You see one that is specifically addressed to... oh, goodness. There's one that's specifically addressed to a woman named... The only name that's really actually specifically written. The rest are to the towns in the area. This one, however, is specifically addressed to Yarna. Yarnya.
Does that name ring a bell?
Make an intelligence check.
14.
14? No.
Okay.
Doesn't really ring any bells.
Fleetfoot,
Yeah.
do you still have that wand where you can tell if things are magical?
Yeah.
Could you do that for me, please?
Okay. Yep. And he just kind of... And he goes, "You're all really bright? Not bright. I don't mean smart." Thank you.
You can understand why I might have some trepidation about you.
Yes.
We're here to help.
I'm thankful. And you see at this point he's just kind of very slowly sipping. He's been holding it for this long.
Mhm.
You imagine it's warm.
Do you need a refill?
Sips it a bit and then hands it to you. Yes, please.
When the dragon comes,
Yeah.
how long is he here? What does he do?
It's always short attacks.
In and out?
In and out is relative for a dragon.
Does he land? Does he
Sometimes.
does he use his
How many times has he come?
7.
how
What's the
frequent
shortest interval
A day
and the longest?
since the last one.
So this is the longest he's been gone.
Through 3 days.
And when he comes, where does he focus his attention?
Changes.
How big is it?
Big. Big. The size of a house.
Does it speak to you?
No.
Not just to you, but to the town.
No. Some people think that there's someone riding it, but I've never seen it.
We've seen dragon riders.
That's even worse.
We've killed dragon riders.
That's fine.
The dragon comes back. Can you muster your people to help?
The people of
How about we try to take the fight to the dragon instead of waiting for it to destroy a town this time?
Doesn't know we're here. We could get it by surprise.
It didn't know we were in Daggerford.
Or did it?
It just teleported there. I don't think it knew.
It would have been an incredible feat of timing with some incredible spy work on their part for that to work out.
They could have a spy on the council.
Who knew exactly when we teleported?
Guys, Corellius Thon was on the council. He was a bad guy. It's not an impossible thought.
It would have to be somebody literally spying on us at that point in time, able to tell them now and have them set up in that exact location.
Or they could have said we are sending them soon. I'm fine taking the fight to the dragon. I just think we might get the element of surprise if we wait for it to come back.
I mean, if you'd like to see another town slaughtered, that's fine.
I'm not saying I'd like to see another town slaughtered, but we now we have the numbers. If these people can be mustered.
Going northwest, I mean, we don't know where it is.
These people don't have numbers anymore. They were 300. They're down to 80. Their best fighters have been killed.
We also sent forces to King Melindrak months ago. So yeah, they are not here.
So you sent your forces and then the attack started.
Yes.
The dragon came once the...
I'm aware you're going to conspiracy theory this, yes. We're supposed to find the son if he's still alive, take out the dragon threat, and return back.
I'm just trying to keep us alive.
The dragon looks wet when it comes. That I don't know if that
Is there a
helps.
body of water around here?
Yeah.
Or a very wet spot, like a swamp?
No swamp.
Lake?
Few lakes.
A northwestern lake?
Yes.
Will you take us there?
Guys, can we not rely on the elderly, sick, and injured of the town to help us, please? They're just going to hold us back. I'm just saying.
With all due respect, no.
I'm not even concerned for their well-being. I'm literally concerned that they're going to hold us back.
We. The only.
If he starts to hold us back, I mean, we could just
We can
leave
leave him
behind.
here in his comfortable couch where he might die.
You said
at
when
least
the
in
when the
comfort.
dragon comes, he comes from the same direction or different directions.
Changes direction, but.
But he always goes the same way back.
Same.
Let's go.
And do you have a bearing on a dragon within the vicinity?
I can find out.
We have a path carry potions.
I think he said we have potions.
Let's go get some potions on the way to the. Which way is the apothecary?
By the tree.
Do you have anyone that sells any rare trinkets?
They're dead.
Perfect.
Potions will do just fine. Valerie.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast.
Sure, anyone come?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very sure.
I'm gonna cast Primeval Awareness again.
I have no idea why I'm the only one who understands what's been happening to your village, and I walk out.
And he's you can. So I would also say that you all recognize that this is an individual who seems as if in one point in their life they were very well put together. This has ravaged them. It is. You all would gather that. It's very obvious at this point. He's not just a stuttering mess for no reason. So.
They're down to grannies and newborns, guys. They're not going to be much help.
Primeval awareness?
Yeah.
At what
It's
level?
fun to ask him for help.
Second.
though.
Second level? Okay, as you exit, you feel extending your awareness once more as you all leave.
It's like a little human meat shield.
You did that in our first session ever, actually. No, it was our third. Anyway, reminiscing. So, as you, for the first minute or so, you don't feel any draconic presence. Almost as if it's unnaturally quiet, given everything that's taken place. And then, just as the spell is beginning to fade, you feel on the radar. Not sure what.
Okay.
But it is distinctly nothing, and then as the spell fades, you get a distinct hit.
He's nearby.
Within the mile.
Oh, which direction?
You gather that it is in a fairly northwestern direction.
Towards the lake.
The way
Let's
that he's
go.
been going off?
Northwestern.
Should we try there?
Yeah, let's get some potions first.
We're off to get the potions.
Okay, so you all make your way to purchase some potions, yes?
Yes.
Following Galen's direction, the silhouette of his eyes sunken into his face, just for a lot of you, off-putting. Certainly a show of how continued exposure to this level of stress can affect an individual for an extended period of time. You're able to find the...
He'll get better after he breaks. It's fine. Leaf did.
Oh, Leaf. From experience. You make your way to a building that is similarly ruined, settled into the back of a tree that has been obliterated and clawed from the top. It is a feat that it is no longer... looks like it has been torn. The trunk has been literally torn, and the remains lie behind it, crushing 4 other homes.
It's a nice place.
Looks like a nice place.
The exterior, there is no sign. There is a similar bit of cloth that is tattered and seems to cover what used to be a doorway. Looking inside, there, just peeking through some of the windows that are broken, you see a number of tables, and on them look to be no goods, but there is a woman inside that is running about, tending to the space, seemingly attempting to clean. She is short for an elf, still very tanned, dark skin, ears coming to a point, hair that is very light in color with bits of gray and blonde streaking through what was once dark hair. Seemingly nervous. As she hears your approach, she looks out. Oh, hello. Hello.
Hello. Galen sent us. We might have some potions.
All right, perfect. My name is Earil.
Is what?
Earil.
How might I serve you today?
I'm Tiberon.
Hello.
Do you have any healing potions?
We have, well, of those that we've used to treat some of our people, we have only 2 of the standard ones remaining.
What do you have? We're here to help.
We have 2 of the healing potions that are normal size, and then another one that is, well, we don't. It's not really anything major. It's a potion of acid resistance, but that's all we have left. Most other things have been taken or used.
Could we purchase them from you?
If you like. The potions of healing are 50 gold pieces per, and the acid resistance is 75. It'd be very kind of you if you'd like to. I don't know what we're going to do with it, and if the dragon comes back, I don't know how many more of us he can take, really, so...
We're going to the dragon.
It's very kind.
I give her 125 gold pieces.
Thank you. And you see her kind of rummage behind a stand and stall in the very disheveled interior, dark woods that have just been covered in splinters and glass that has very recently been swept. She takes out the vials and hands them to you, Tiberon. And
they, yeah. So those are for you. I suppose I wish you luck.
You just said potion of acid resistance and 2 potions of healing?
Yep.
Just normal potions of healing?
Normal potions of healing.
Okay.
You gather that much has been used to attempt to save the town, and this is all that remains.
I give a potion to Balasar, and I'm going to keep one for myself.
Okie dokie. So, Balasar, you can add a potion of healing.
So,
Actually, I'm going to give Balasar the potion of acid resistance, too.
Okay.
Just because you're probably going to be up in the thick of it. Leaf, you have healing, and you're normally from a distance.
I have acid resistance.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll keep it then. Sorry.
That Balasar would know that. You'd know that when acid hits you, you're like, this doesn't hurt as bad. Because of that mask.
Yep. Do you have anything else for sale?
No. We don't have much left.
Okay.
Most of it was taken away by, the dragon.
What did you want to buy?
Those things.
I think they have a potion of poison.
You have one? Or do I have one?
I think you have one.
I do?
I think so. If he wants to buy one, I think you have one.
I don't understand.
Did you want a potion of poison?
No.
Okay, no, you don't have one. Never mind.
Okay.
She looks very confused.
Okay. If there's anything else you'd like.
She has no idea how to interact with any of you
Well-
at this
well-
point.
Yeah, but what do you have?
To direct you in the location you might find it. I'm sorry.
Oh.
He's just shopping.
Oh. I'm sorry, we don't have very much left. Understandably so, given the dragon.
There's a dragon?
7 times. It's a little bit of a sore subject.
Yes. A dragon, as your friend said, 7 times.
The one that we're going to go kill.
I wish you luck on that
Okay.
one.
Well, let's go kill it.
If you don't mind me saying,
I'm sure you don't think we're going to succeed now, but thank you for your well wishes.
maybe you will. I'm not so sure about your friend.
I don't think he's going to. If the dragon
Thank
doesn't
you.
kill him, I might. Let's go, guys.
Let's go towards the dragon.
Okay. You leave the utterly bewildered shopkeep out of the room. And begin making your way. Are you heading out of the town northwestward, in that northwestward direction? And if so, who is leading?
Me.
Okay.
I'm mumbling with Sartha about next time I just need to hire better minions and stop meeting people randomly and going along with them.
It's very. His response is very.
You joined my caravan.
I know. I need to hire better minions next time and not just meet up with people randomly.
Sartha, yes, I would agree with that path, actually.
Trying to shop at a dragon-torn town, like there's Yes, sir. We have this nice cloak of elven kind sitting right over here. Nothing has bothered us 7 times in the past 2 months.
Trying to spend some money to get some money back in their town. Gosh.
Okay. Tiburon. So be a survival check with
You could have
advantage.
commissioned something from her,
check.
given her something to do
Just
for
straight?
the next 2
Straight.
weeks. Tell me that. I could have helped with that.
That was my intent, but
I do have advantage on
Yeah,
survival
it is
checks to
that
track my favorite enemies.
Are you tracking the dragon or attempting to locate the
You're right. I'm sorry.
waterfall?
Yeah, I'm gonna look. Just
You got it.
I rolled really well.
Yep.
25.
Yeah.
that's all right.
It's okay.
You begin picking your way. Your movement is significantly hampered. You all approach, unless you want to take the carpet.
Yeah, carpet.
Well, Yeah,
I thought we were going to take the carpet.
yeah. I guess we'll take the carpet.
Okay. Just,
Say.
I mean,
I have land stride, so I'm not slowed.
it is magical, so you would, in fact, be slowed.
Well, I get advantage against.
Still going to slow you down.
Okay.
It's thick material.
Just saying.
I
Against
was
plants that are
watching
magically
that
created.
match there.
It is magically created. It's going to slow you down.
Just reading the thing.
No, I agree. It's just been here a while,
I
so
know.
it'd slow anybody down.
Okay.
So you hop on the carpet. Fleetfoot says, "Stu," hands you the proverbial reins, or tassels, as they were, and it's still slow going. Again, dense fog. As you exit the village itself, or town itself, rather, moving back into the forest proper. You all begin to tire as it is now moving directly into evening. You can keep pressing on if you'd like. The sun is at this point setting and it is getting darker within the forest just because of the slow travel you've had to take through the fog. So, I say that saying you can keep pressing on and risk exhaustion if you would like, or you can find a place to settle down.
Keep going. Stop.
I'd rather not be exhausted when we're going up against the dragon.
Okay.
That's true.
Want to stop up in a tree, maybe?
I am all about camping in the trees. You all know that.
Okay. We'll go up.
You got it. So you find a tree that looks serviceable and begin to navigate up a little bit. And it takes you a while as you travel up about another 60 feet to find branches that are still that first of all appear, and second of all are the load-bearing style of branches that you all can sleep on. Find a way to get yourself fairly comfortable for the evening. It's a little bit of a jarring experience having been here. You all also notice, and this would be as you're on your... Ooh, that hurt. As you begin your flight up, Leaf and Tiburon, give me nature checks, please. Just straight nature checks. You are the two who would know this.
20.
13.
13, okay.
It was either a 2 or a 20, but it was cocked.
Well...
or 12.
Well, so Leaf, on the way up, you're pretty absorbed in conversation and just back and forth with Sartha and just, cutting him off every once in a while. You just realize this is, what the hell? Like, it's just a very what the hell feeling. What in Avernus? So, anyway, but Tiburon, as you're traveling, you notice that the behavior of the animals in the woodlands is quite odd. It's off-putting. With that roll, you would notice that they would consistently skirt at the edges of your vision and what you would imagine their vision of your party and troop were. And then as you would look and notice, they would scurry out of sight deep into the fog once more. All manner of woodland creature. You've seen some deers, a stag. You even could have sworn you saw some sort of strange feline large creature. Not Fleetfoot, but some sort of large, dark purplish feline. The behavior is disconcerting because they all behave the same way, remaining at the edge of your vision, and then the moment that you notice they seem to skirt away.
They all go the same direction.
No, doesn't seem that way.
Hmm.
But at random intervals,
Are they staying at the edge of our vision like they're watching us?
you would gather that it feels that way.
They're reporting back to the dragon. It knows we're here.
Yep. That sounds right. Wait, who's reporting back to the dragon? The elves?
These animals.
What animals?
Watch.
So as he points it out, you
Okay,
actually
I see it.
you notice a deer that kind of pokes its head, and then the moment you look at it, eye contact is made, and it bounds off into the forest.
Can I talk to all the creatures? Well, yeah, it's a dragon.
Would I know what a green dragon can do? What they're capable of?
So I would say you can give me an intelligence check with advantage, but the DC is going to be really high. You haven't necessarily met one.
14.
14. It's tough. You know that what you do know, right,
Mhm.
is that dragons do exert a force on the region where they have decided to make their lair. You've seen
Yeah.
black dragons. You've seen white dragons. You have not seen a green, so you don't necessarily know what sort of force it would exert.
Okay. It's just a hunch. Maybe it's got something to do with its hold over the land, but
Hey, Sartha, you know anything about green dragons and if they can do this?
Green dragons, you say?
Hey, Ruby, does that sound like a dragon thing?
Ruby just kind of. Sartha, after pausing for a moment. Not bad.
Yes, actually. Read about them in depth.
They can seriously talk to or control the wildlife that isn't
Oh,
reptilian?
they can... Yes.
Huh. Yeah, guess they can.
You rolled
Dude,
really
you're
well.
actually pretty useful.
Oh, thank you.
who are you talking to?
Oh, the guy in the ring.
Oh. Is he a nice guy?
He's an old crazy wizard.
The ring that we found?
You hear in your head at this point,
The Wizard of the Truth They.
and then he just kind of.
The wizard of the what?
Truth They?
Truth they?
No, true, one word.
True?
Thay, the second.
Fae?
No, Thay.
Fae. Oh, he's a red. Were you a red wizard?
I suppose we did wear red frequently. Yes, but not. I was there during the splintering.
Old school red robe.
All right.
I have no idea if it's good or not, but he's kind of harmless, stuck in a ring.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
And he's good company.
thank you, Leaf. Sorry.
I'll, when we get up into the trees, I'll ask Falks what he knows about greens.
Okay.
If he knows anything.
So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say we take some watches here, and
Mhm.
we'll cover that conversation in watches. So, would we like to do the same sort of
I can go first.
order as previously?
That's fine.
Cool. So, Tyrone, you'd go first on this, and it'd be a perception check.
21.
You're pretty high up in this tree. Looking around, you're able to see, at fairly frequent intervals, you have animals checking in on you. Always staying for but a moment, and then leaving. Other than that, no real activity. Anything that you'd like to ask Falk specifically in your time on watch?
What can you tell me of greens?
Green dragons. Right. Well, I've encountered a number of them in my
They're
time.
very cunning, yes?
They are deceitful. Their assets are not
Deceitful.
treasure. Their assets are people.
In knowledge.
In a way, they view their collective treasure of people as their knowledge. They enjoy gold as much as any dragon, however, they truly believe that their dominion will be expanded with the aid of mortals.
And these animals checking in on us,
It is part of the process.
they're reporting back to him, aren't they?
Absolutely.
You in for another fight?
Sure.
And you hear this little small growl of satisfaction echo in your mind.
I'll take some time to prepare.
And it just kind of goes down into this deep, more guttural, almost draconic growl that emanates in your mind. The silver filigree flickers on the bow. Other than that, your watch passes with no real incursion. Balasar, you're up next. Tyrone shakes you awake.
20.
For the first time, you are watching these animals kind of poke their head in and look at you. They seem to spend a lot of time staring at you in the tree. In fact, there's one point where you're walking down up and down the branch itself when you notice that this is an owl just kind of lands next to you. Head kind of rotates and looks in your direction and tilts in one direction, staring, and flies away after spending a solid 5 to 10 seconds staring at you. It's a little bit unnerving. Other than that, there's some slight rustling in the vicinity, but that is all.
Wake up.
Okay. I'm up.
All right, I'm going to sleep. Nothing happened.
I'm up.
There's an owl, though, right there. It's kind of cool.
What owl?
Good night.
Perception check, please. What else? Night.
21.
21. Through your very limited breaking conversation with Sartha, unless there's something you'd specifically like to ask of him, you are able to witness in spades, although at this point the frequency seems to have lessened somewhat from what you've seen before, you're very much being monitored.
But not flat up, walked up to and stared out like Balasar. Okay, and I'm just gonna wander around and pretend like I don't notice.
Okay. Seems like a plan. Anything you'd like to ask Sartha in the time or no?
No, just have another conversation with the guy until I'm done and cut him off again.
Yeah. He's halfway through.
And this one time I actually
I'll
read
let
the
him-
book.
I'll let him just talk tonight. Just go for it.
And then I also read a fantastic tome on the history of the original.
And it just kind of continues going through this litany of random knowledge he's acquired over time.
It's kind of like watching the History Channel.
Honestly, yeah, that's a great. Honestly, that is a great way to think about it. He is literally just. This is events from 800 years ago. It is like, what? Okay, this is kind of cool.
Some of it could be relevant. You never know.
Yeah, could be. Other than that, the evening passes without event, and Fleetfoot will take his watch, where he notices nothing.
Perfect.
Fleetfoot's not convinced animals are watching you at all, based on that roll. You rise the next morning, awakened, refreshed, experiencing the benefits of a long rest once more. Pack up, eat some of the cold items that you had prepared originally from your campsite and been able to gather from the forest around you, and set out for the day, traveling in the same direction once more. So Tyrone, that would be a survival check.
22.
22. Okay. Still on the carpet, still making your way. It is slow progress.
We did get a long rest, you said?
You did. That's important for you because you did expend spell slots. As you're traveling, I would say all of you, just with your passive perception, would notice that the trees begin to look as if they've been felled in this vicinity. In fact, looking throughout, you notice that there are a number of what look to be... You remember encountering the Gloomstalkers ages ago that had the top half of what would be a treant. However, you notice a full-formed treant-like entity collapsed and broken beneath the boughs of these trees that have fallen, as well as a number of broken bodies on the ground. As you pass over this, what looks to be a small battleground, you exit the clearing and continue, and in the distance you're able to begin hearing what sounds like crashing water consistently. It is quite a distance away at this point, but you're able to make it out just over... I mean, the forest is fairly still, so you're able to make out the sound of that rushing water and the crashing of the liquid falling from a great height. continuing in that direction, after the next 2 hours of moving from tree to tree, you emerge into an open glade clearing that has a... It is right on the border of what would be considered a lake in terms of size. But sitting in the center, you see this massive rocky dome that has crags jutting up in many different directions, and from each of them flows a waterfall. So there are 4 that seem to be of mid-sized, 3 that are quite small, and then 1 massive rock-like structure with a waterfall pouring from the top. It is densely packed in this forest of thistle and brambles on the forest floor, but as you approach what would be the beach into the lake itself, it begins to dissipate ever so slightly.
My guess is that's...
Probably a dragon lair.
Yeah.
It's probably behind the waterfall.
Are you ready for this?
When are we ever ready? Let's go for it.
Meat soup group.
MSG.
I mean, I'm always ready, but
Let's do it.
Okay. So,
I mean, player can't do a whole fight with the dragon in 20 minutes, but
Yeah.
as you all begin flying over the lake, you look down and you see a number of strange reptilian... Actually, perception checks from everybody on this one, because I'd love to know how much you see.
17.
17. Thank you.
17.
17, okay.
22.
Wait, it's perception, right?
Perception, yes.
22.
God, this dice is not getting rolled again. Pardon me. I would say that all of you... Leaf, what was yours? 17, you said?
Yes.
All of you would see these strange reptilian forms beneath the waves, not beneath the murky water. And then surrounding the largest cavern structure, there is a small patch of land that has a pool that is about 40 feet by 40 feet, where the water is streaming into from...
Was it a potion of acid resistance or poison resistance?
acid resistance.
What are the strange reptilian creatures?
Nature check.
Do I see them too?
It's tough to make out, but
May I as well?
absolutely.
I got a 3.
3. It's tough to make out in the murky water.
Are they beasts? Are they, like, magical creatures?
You are able to make out their silhouettes. They are beast-like.
I don't see anything.
What are those things?
I don't see anything.
One.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
tough to make it out
I
in the
don't.
murky
I don't
water.
see anything.
And also, you've got this massive structure in front
I'm
of you.
focused
You don't
on what's ahead.
know. You all continue down, and do you want to set down the carpet on this this little outcropping of land beneath this massive cavern, or what would you like to do?
Do we go in?
I mean, are we just going to walk in and say, hi, we're here to kill you, or are we going to try to be smart about it?
I'd like to be smart about it, but sometimes...
I mean, because we
We-
usually do the dumb way, and it tends to work out for us.
I was going to say I'd like to be smart about it, but I was going to agree with you. Sometimes we're just stupid, and it works out. Do we
And I
want...
really don't know how to sneak in here unless we swim.
I say we just fly through the waterfall. Hopefully not run into a wall.
Full speed, just right through the waterfall.
How about... I mean, we
and
could...
just hope there's a cave back there.
Is there any clearing
I think
behind the
that's
water?
A fantastic idea, Balasar. I'm gonna get off the carpet.
You are pretty close to the ground at this point.
Yeah. Is there, like, any...
It's tough to tell from this perspective. I'd say give me a perception check, just at this. But you're at a bit of a distance. Bless you. 3 times.
What did I roll?
TJ wants to cast Magic Noodle.
Okay, I said
What did I...
we're gonna kill another dragon. He goes,
What did I
like
roll?
now? I said, yeah, we're landing right
Nick,
now.
what is that? Is that a 19?
He goes, I want to cast magic noodle.
26.
Damn it, autocorrect.
I don't think that's a spell. What was it?
26.
26 from this distance. You are able to just barely make out that the opening is just enough, and it seems like a crack or fissure in the side of the cavern to release the water, as opposed to a full-on cave. Jesus. Y'all kill me. Between Disco Dicks and Magic Noodles, what are we doing? Guys, this is D&D. I
That's
love
right.
D&D.
We're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I love it.
And Disco Dick.
Oh, God. Okay. So, Tybron, you would see that it is a crack or fissure where the water seems to be pouring out, as opposed to,
So there's not a cave behind it.
from this distance, you're able to surmise that it doesn't look that way. With that roll, it doesn't look that way.
Well, he's not back there.
Jesus.
Can I look around? Like, is it trees and then like in this lake, or is it just kind of like?
There are still trees here.
Is it very lakey, like Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, just lake with a thing out in the middle of it?
Yes and no.
Okay.
These massive stone structures are essentially each seated on a bit of land outcropping in the center of a heavily densely wooded lake, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the center of a massively dense forest. So
the center of the lake has a bunch of dense trees, and then there are.
yes. If you'd like to look around the location, you absolutely can. That perception roll was for if there was a cave behind the
Yeah,
waterfall.
I'll keep looking to see.
Okay, so that'd be an investigation check because you're actively walking around.
Okay, that's a 11.
Okay. And Leaf and Balasar, are you two still discussing? Yeah, we should just definitely fly the carpet through the waterfall.
I am trying to convince Balasar to go flying through the.
Hey guys,
Waterfall.
if we're gonna fight a dragon, you're not gonna want to do that because there's nothing back there.
That's
There's
not where the
nothing-
dragon is?
He
No.
really wants to, though.
No,
I'm not on the carpet.
Well, where's the dragon?
trying to find that out.
You see Tyron like, no. And begins, he points up at this fissure that you thought, oh yeah, I don't know if
flying
I'd
through
fit
the
there.
waterfall would not be good for our dragon possibilities, but
Yeah.
It'd be
seeing
fun.
Balasar.
Focus. Do you want to kill something?
It's right behind the waterfall.
Are you sure?
No.
I'd say, Leaf, give me a deception check. Tyron, give me a persuasion check. And Balasar, give me an insight check. I can't wait.
Would you roll?
Deception.
Yes.
Oh, it's not a 20. It's a 8. No. 18, yeah.
18.
I also rolled an 18.
At 18,
I rolled a 17 plus
You-
1.
they are both very convinced that their way is the highway. What was your insight roll?
8.
8. It is a lot to process
I
at
thought
this
it was
point.
a 7. It's actually a 5. And then I looked down here and saw a 9. I was like, wait a minute, I'm all
I
confused.
have a plus 1.
Yeah.
And I rolled a 17.
It's a lot to take in. They're both being very adamant about this. Fleetfoot is observing and laughing his ass off.
I was going to say, I'm not sure which side Fleet would. Join here.
Fleetfoot is laughing his.
Can I walk away?
You can if you'd like. So
and then
as-
I'm gonna ask Falks, where do you think he is?
So I would say in the midst of this argument, you all would hear a resounding crack, scraping noises of just,
That comes from behind the waterfall. I'm
And then-
pissed.
as deep in the distance onto one of the other crags that's well over 1,000 feet away, just through the mist, you hear this massive scraping and then this resounding bass beat of as it fades into the distance.
From behind the waterfall, or
It is at another rocky
Oh.
structure that you would imagine is very far off in the distance in this mist.
There-
the waterfall's here, it's over there.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, TJ casts Magic Noodle.
Yeah, Leaf is over there doing just the SpongeBob arm noodle wave.
Leaf, no.
Oh, Fleetfoot is over there doing. I apologize. I don't know why it's always you two. Fleetfoot's doing the arm
I
noodle
don't even
wave.
have that spell.
Do you want it?
No,
Seems like a great spell.
no, I don't want to be a little inflatable thing in front of a gas station.
Yes. So you hear then feel that resounding. Actually, yeah, that'd be what you would hear. All of you, because it's not
Can
quiet.
you see it? Or is-
Through the fog and at this distance, no.
Telling you that came from behind that waterfall. So, are we going after it? Are we going to sit here? Are we going to? Do we need to camp? What time is it?
So I would say, Tybron, through your search, you are able to find. It takes you a little bit as you walk away, and you hear this, and just kind of stalking away, looking. you're able to find what looks to be the waterfall as it is crashing into the pool. You are able to follow behind it and just barely make it through being buffeted by the water. And it's very dark through the fog and mist, and that spray of the water, there is a entrance to the cave at the base of the waterfall as opposed to the top, which is where we were attempting to go previously. So at the base of the waterfall, there is a cavern opening.
Told you there was something behind the waterfall.
All right, let's go in there.
Tyrone pokes his head back out from the waterfall, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go
Should we fly through the waterfall?
into the waterfall.
I walk through the waterfall.
So you make your way into the cave opening. The water does kind of flow for a bit inside. It's damp on the floor. Pardon me.
Moist.
Yeah, moist. It's quite dark. You all begin navigating your way through. There's a sharp turn to your right as you enter into the cavern itself. Ceilings initially begin at about 30 feet in height, but as you navigate in, they rise considerably, and you realize that inside this massive stone structure, it is all just one big cave. Looking around, low light, tough to make much out. Anything you'd like to do?
Is this his lair, or are we just tracking him through here?
Can I try to do a survival check to track it, see if this is its lair?
You certainly can. Give me a survival check with advantage.
Rolled an 18 and a 19. So that'd be 26.
Okay. Looking around, you recognize that the cavern is seemingly... You've been in caves before. Checking, you notice that there are some, with those rolls, you're barely able to make out. Barely able to make out small grooves that seem to be carved into different locations.
From like talons, claws?
From what you would imagine and you've seen previously, yes.
Can I tell which direction they're going?
They are in all different directions. It would be tough to make out any specific locale.
He's been in here. Could be here right now.
That's fine. So should we...
Let's keep venturing forward then. Or we can set up a trap here. I hope that it comes back.
He knows we're here.
I'm pretty sure this is a trap as it is.
Mm-hmm. We could spring it.
Could. Like you have faith we won't.
So I would say you all continue venturing forth, and you emerge into the largest section in the center of this cavern expanse, and you begin to hear the rushing of water as you look, and you see that there is actually pools of water in the center of this chamber. You're barely able to make out through the inky blackness, and you're able to see the ripples of the waves in the water inside. Looking around, it is just damp overall.
What does it smell like?
Decay. As you all look throughout, you're able to see there are several forms of what look to be limp humanoid type entities lying on the ground next to the pool itself that fills up the vicinity. And the pool is quite large. It is about 60 feet in length by 40 feet in width away from you in this pretty large chamber. And that's not even taking into account the landmass surrounding it and what would be considered the beach of the cavern itself.
Can I go check out one of these bodies?
You can. Give me a medicine check.
9.
Long dead. Portions of the body have been stripped away as if by talons, and the exposed bone and remains is very much in decay. Other than that, it's tough to make out anything else. And that's just very obvious. because you
Elven,
walk up
or
on it.
I can't tell what.
It's missing the upper portion of its torso,
Okay.
so it's tough to be sure.
Okay.
As you all are kind of taking in the space, you hear this massive echoing followed by a and then the sound of and some very muffled and echoing footsteps. And that's where we're going to pick up next time.
Great. That'll be fun.
And it'll actually be 2 weeks from now. Thanks for listening to Natural 20. We meet every Tuesday night to roll dice and try to make it out alive. On behalf of the party, I hope you enjoyed this session.